Hey guys, it's me, Terry's Hype here in the main channel, on the second channel, and welcome back to the Forza Motorsport 7 and the review series. Today, we are here with the 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, even. Yeah, that is a mouthful and a half. And this car is a lot reminiscent of the Dodge Demon, actually. So, what do I mean by that? Well, the one thing that's massively different, I'll point out right now, just coming around this corner at Monza, if you look just below the engine, it looks like the gearbox and the engine is about to fall out beneath the car. Once you see that, you can't unsee it, so beware. But literally, when you go around the corner, there's a bit of light, you'll see that the engine is going to fall out. It does look like it's going to fall out, so, yeah. See there? See, she's doesn't look held in place very well. Anyway, the 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. You can buy it for only a measly 73,000 credits, which is really good, actually. Obviously, it comes with the latest car pack, which you get one for free, and if you don't get the car pack, then you can't use this vehicle, but you can just rebuild it from the Jeep Grand Cherokee in-game, because it's only using the Hellcat engine, which you can drop into it and make exactly the same, if not better, because this Jeep needs some work. And I'll get into that later, but first of all, like I said, it is running on all they've literally done is took a Jeep Grand Cherokee, dropped a Hellcat engine in it. So it's 707 horsepower, 645 foot-pounds of torque, and it weighs 5,350 pounds. So, same power and same torque as a Hellcat, but weighs so much more. And why is that? Because it's got a massive V8 in it, and because it's a SUV. Now, when I heard about this, I was like, yeah! Finally, someone's going to do something. The Jeep Grand Cherokee, as it is a stupidly fast and stupidly loud and muscle car, and I'm dropping a Hellcat engine into it. It's going to make it even better. It didn't. It really didn't. As for grip, it's got 295s all round. It has road tyres and standard, and it is all-wheel drive. Now, this means you can just beat it out of corners. It does wheel spin quite a bit because it has got 707 horsepower on pretty small tyres, and it's on road tyres and standard, which aren't the most grippiest things. So yeah, the engine is placed in the front. Like I said, it's the Hellcat engine. It's a supercharged 6.2 litre V8, which means the car it might weigh like 5 tons, but it goes 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, which is surprisingly fast. That's up there beating something like the 2000s supercars. It's 0 to 108.2 seconds, which isn't that good, but it is pretty good for an SUV. And this is where it really downfalls. 60 to 0 in 150 feet. 100 to 0 in 365 feet. And it only has a top speed of 184. Now, there's a lot of things we need to talk about here. Firstly, there's a reason the top speed is only 184. Gear ratios are relatively short. You go for first, second, third pretty quickly. You literally accelerate off the line. You'll see in the drag race a bit later, it's just 1, 2, 3, and then you go. Like, there's no first gear, there's no second gear, and then you go into third gear, and that's pretty short, and then you go into fourth gear, and then fifth gear, and then sixth gear, and then you have a seventh gear. Now, the gear ratio is quite short, so obviously it's good for acceleration, not so good for top speed. It does weigh 5,000 pounds and it only has 700 horsepower. That is also a reason it's not got the highest top speed ever. And then look at it, it's a brick. It's not very aerodynamic, so you can't really be expecting something like this to be going 200 miles an hour. Although I'm guessing if you did tune it yourself, you could probably get to do 200 miles an hour pretty easily. But by far, the biggest issue with this car is its brakes. They are horrific. Because you've got so much power and so much weight, when you come to use the brakes, which are the standard Jeep brakes, it does not do anything. I swear to God, it just stopped. You saw that lap just before I went straight into the tyre barrier. And why was that? Because the brakes are atrocious. They just don't... Look at this, like, they lock up instantly, and because you realise, oh, I'm going to start braking early because I know the brakes aren't very good, and then still you're going and going, you're still doing 100 miles an hour at the 200 metre point, you're like, okay, I need to put a bit more brake on, and then they lock up, and then, it's just hell. It's just hell. the thing is with this, it is Jeep everything. Jeep drivetrain, Jeep brakes, Jeep suspension, Jeep chassis, just a Hellcat engine. And that's why they've gone wrong. They've not modified the brakes, they've not modified the suspension, they've not modified anything. Just the engine. And they shouldn't have done that. If you put good brakes in it, do better suspension, this thing would be great. Because as you can see through some of these corners now, I'm on the brakes, it leans and wallows about, and sometimes feels like it's trying to pick up one of the inside front wheel from whatever turn you're doing. And that doesn't help turning either, because, you know, when you've not got a wheel on the floor, it doesn't really turn, surprisingly enough. Yeah, it's a great car. It was a great concept, just poorly executed. Now, if I were to take the normal Jeep Grand Cherokee and stick a Hellcat engine in it and upgrade it to probably about the same PI as this, because this has a much higher PI than the normal Grand Cherokee. If I was to do that and upgrade to the same PI, I could probably get race brakes, race suspension on it, maybe even a better grip tyres, although the grip is pretty well on it. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. So if you were to just put like the race suspension, race anti-roll bars, race brakes, and you probably get to the same PI, and the car would be so much better because of the fact it has the better drivetrain, it has better running gear. And yeah, I'm not the best driver, so I don't know when to find the biting point of the brakes and when they're at the most effective. But on this, they're just horrific. Now, the grip in this car, it is actually really, really good. It's a normal drive car. It's not going to be bad, is it? It's not a thing that's going to happen. It's not the best. One issue is the diff. We'll get into that in a minute as well. But it has 700 horsepower going down onto standard road tyres. All at once in all four wheels. It spins up the wheels quite a bit. And as you see there, first and second and third gear, you can get this wheel spinning. As soon as you hit third gear, though, you do pretty much get grip, and the car really sorts itself out with gearing. And this car is actually relatively easy to drift as well, which is surprising. I do enjoy just like ripping the handbrake in this thing and just powering around the corners on full opposite lock. It just slides. It is very good for drifting. It is very easy to control, and there isn't really a lack of grip. I really do feel confident when driving this thing around corners. I can get power down. The only issue with it is, like I said, Jeep, basically everything but the engine means it's got a Jeep diff. And boy, the diff, it does like spinning up one wheel sometimes. It does like spinning up one wheel sometimes, and that's not good. That's not good. That's something usually a rear wheel drive car does, but you'll see on the hot lap at Suzuka later on in the thing when they do the race, when coming up to the uphill chicane, yeah, it does really suffer because it just can't get its power down very well and get up the hill. So all in all, this car's great. It is very good. We'll give our final review on it at the end of the episode, obviously, if you should buy it or not. But it's not the best thing in the world. You could probably build better than you can buy this. I won't lie. You could probably build better than you can buy this. But you know, this thing's nice. It's actually got a name to it. It's not just the Jeep Grand Cherokee with a Hellcat engine in it. It's actually got a name to it. But this is the first kind of thing we took round that is like this kind of car. The only other thing we took is the Audi Q7, and that is very heavy, very slow. So this thing should be the Audi Q7. But anyway, right now we're moving on to the drag race, where this thing was going inevitably to do well. It's got all-wheel drive, 700 horsepower, but as you can hear, it's just dink, 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 going through its gears. Instantly just, yeah. As for the time the Jeep got, I was expecting it to be pretty fast. It does put itself into 6th place at an 11.311 as its fastest run, which is surprisingly just behind the Dodge Demon, which got an 11.211 that we saw last week, and just in front of the Porsche Cayman GT4, which got an 11.5405. So it's in a very nice place on the board for all the sports cars and the Dodge Demon, which is probably what we'd compare this car to the most. But like I said, we are now here at Maple Valley, where we're going to do the 15 minutes of drifting and getting our best lap and seeing what we can do. Like I said in the previous, in the explanation for this car. This car is pretty easy to drift. It is surprisingly well able to be held and able to get the power down and able to slide. Like, there is a lot of handbrake using, so you will see the back wheel just lock sometimes because they just rip the handbrake and you can get it around. Yeah, that's much more to do with power sliding, not actual drifting, but that's what you do in a four-wheel drive car, you power slide it. And as you can see, the Jeep is pretty beaten up. That's because on the first lap I rolled it by accident. Yeah, it didn't go well. And then coming over here, I did lose the back end, which is why I rolled it on the first lap, because I lost the back end, went into the off-road, the sticky grass rolled me over. But yeah, it is pretty good to drift. This is probably my favourite car I've had to drift off the series up to now, because I do enjoy drifting or power sliding four-wheel drive cars, because you can just boot it, put the power down, and you can just in control all the time. You just put it on opposite lock and it will fix itself. It's not like a front-wheel drive car. If you just boot it, you put the power down and it will fix itself. The thing is, you boot it, you put the power down, and you get all wheel spin at the same time, which means it just carries on going. Like, it just drives sideways, which is it's hard to explain, but it does just drive sideways. Now, when I first thought, oh god, when I first thought I got drifted, I was like, oh god, it's going to be horrific, it's going to be really heavy, it's not going to be able to slide well. After my first lap, I was like, holy, it is a very, very good car to drive. And I will tell you right here, right now, you will not expect where this car comes on the leaderboard. I would have expected about maybe between the Chrysler 300 SRT8 and the Chevrolet Camaro, between 21,000 and 17,000. But as we come up to the end now, I will tell you that the Jeep Trackhawk got a best lap of 37,530, which puts it right at the top of our drift leaderboard, just in front of the Ford Fiesta ST, which is on 28,113. Beats the Ford by 10,000 points basically. But now we must take it to the all-important hot lapping session over on the Suzuka Bull Circuit. Now, just like the Dodge Demon, I was very skeptical when it comes to doing this because, you know, a lot of power, not much grip, well, not much turning grip and turning response and all that, so it probably wasn't going to do well. It is all-wheel drive as well, so it does have that extra understeer. In fact, I haven't really spoke about that. The understeer on this car isn't actually existing. The only places you will find is at these slower speed turns, which is really what they're undoing. The S-curves here really undid this car because you had to take them so slow because the tight turns, it just did not like it. And you could genuinely feel sometimes that when you went over like the apexes, if you just went over it a tad bit and you were bouncing, it did feel like it was getting caught a bit, and I'm guessing that was the engine because it's so low down, because the engine is like obviously a big engine and it doesn't really fit in the Jeep Grand Cherokee wasn't really designed in mind for having a Hellcat engine in it, surprisingly enough. But yeah, and we come up to the Degnas, and you can actually see these surprisingly fast. The second Degna here, it can just like, you can keep it powered down pretty much the whole way through. But here is the big issue. We're coming around this round turn 10 here, that's perfectly fine, every car's pretty much flat out here, but the uphill hairpin, it's not good at. You'll see it just starts spinning up that rear left wheel, that it does lose quite a bit of time doing that. I know it seems like, oh, it wasn't spinning for that long, but the thing is, if you're spinning that one wheel, none of the other wheels are really powered, which means that is just spinning all its power away, spinning time away. If the diff was like on all wheels and was properly, then it wouldn't be too bad. We're now at Spoon, and this car, it because obviously the way Spoon's designed is a very, very strange corner. It's like, it starts off tight and then widens up and then tightens again. So the tight, it does throw the Trackhawk off, but as it widens, it can take like the racing line as such and then pull itself in. So Spoon, it kind of really works for this. This long straight here, the Trackhawk doesn't accelerate that fast, I found. It only accelerates to about 150 miles an hour. But then again, you got to remember that the top speed is only 184, so that's actually quite good in like straight line speed to top speed. It is quite good. And we're coming up to the Casio Triangle now, and obviously four-wheel drive, power, boot it out the corner, and you're gonna get it out pretty fast. Come on, let's find a corner. No car's ever had an issue there. So yeah. The Jeep Trackhawk, I I expected it to be a lot slower than what it was. I expected it to be around the Audi Q7 time, which was a 2 minutes 50. But I was wrong. The Jeep Trackhawk puts itself into 12th position with a time of a 2:37.331, which is just behind the Lancia Stratos in 11th place, which got 2:37.084, and just in front of the Chrysler 300 SRT8 in 13th place with a 2 minutes 40. So, should you buy the Jeep Trackhawk? Wow, I'm not getting my names right because there's a lot of strange Jeeps being made recently. Should you buy the Jeep Trackhawk? Personally, if I was going to buy it, I would buy it just because I knew it was called the Trackhawk, and that is a BA name. That is a really cool name. But it's definitely not cheaper. It's definitely cheaper to buy the Trackhawk than to build a Jeep Grand Cherokee to be the Trackhawk. But if I was to be honest, I would probably buy the Jeep Grand Cherokee, drop a Hellcat engine in and upgrade it. But then again, I could just buy the Jeep Trackhawk and then put some more performance and upgrades on it and probably be better. So should you buy the Jeep Trackhawk? If you've not got the DLC pack, then no. Do not buy the DLC pack just for this car because it's not worth it. In Forza Motorsport 7 you could just build it. But if you do have the DLC pack, then definitely give it out a try. It is a very good car. It's surprisingly fast and it's a very nice car to drive. But yeah, anyway, if you've enjoyed the mission, leave a like and subscribe for more car reviews like this in the future. We'll be covering all the latest and the greatest cars coming in the car packs and seeing how they compare to each other. But yeah, that's it from me. Comment down below what car you want us to see reviewed next. But yeah, that's it from me, Tim D's Hyper, signing out.